Wonderful Facebook family, today we are back in the kitchen. We made the eggplant and potato vegetable, but now we have to make the rotis that go with that. Roti is a flatbread that comes from India, and it's made with durum wheat flour with no leavening. I just finished making the dough. This is about 4 cups of flour, the durum wheat flour, with about 2 cups of water, and you have to knead it till it's nice and smooth and glossy. I let it rest for about 5 minutes, and then I put a little bit of oil in it and then kneaded it again to make it really nice and smooth. And how you know your dough is done is when your mixing bowl is absolutely clean and your hand is absolutely clean without any dough sticking to it, right? So that's how you know it's done. Now coming to the actual roti making process, you are going to need a cast iron skillet or any other skillet that you have at home. You will need a rolling pin of sorts, and you will need a pair of tongs, right? So these are some of the tools that you need. You also need some dry flour into which you can dredge these dough balls so that they don't get stuck to your rolling pin. So the first step is you pluck off a piece of dough the size of a golf ball, and you dredge it in the flour, and then you pinch the edges like so. Keep turning it and keep pinching the edges. And the reason we do that is that usually when someone makes rotis, the center is really thin and burnt and the edges are thick and raw. So in order to ensure that it rolls out evenly and the sides are also thin and the roti is evenly cooked, we add this extra step to the handling process. You can see that the sides are extremely thin and it literally looks like it has a dome. It looks like a pierogi, right? So it has like a little dome raised situation in the center and the edges are thin, okay? So the next step that we're going to do is we're going to put it on your rolling board. You can do it directly on a countertop. You can do it on a wooden cutting board that is dry. And we're going to roll these. Now the rolling of rotis is not like pie making, so you don't have to only push in one direction. The actual pressure goes around the periphery of the roti, and it's almost as if one hand is kind of holding the rolling pin tightly and the other one is holding it loosely, and the roti kind of moves on the rolling board by the moment of torque. So I don't know what you were doing in physics class, but that's the only technical way that I can explain it. The easy way to do it is roll it back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And if it's not moving on its own, pick it up and give it a 90-degree flip. And then back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Give it a 90-degree flip, back and forth. So you're not really pressing it, you're just spreading it. You're just using your rolling pin to spread the dough. And by now what happens is that center that was domed is now actually evenly absorbed and spread out into these edges, right? Once you're happy with how big it is, we don't want to make it too thin or too thick because then it burns very easily. Once you're happy with how it is, you're just going to show some love and rub your hand across the periphery to make sure that it's evenly thick or thin, right? Let me say a big hello to Lori, to Rebecca, and to Tim. If you have had any roti making adventures, definitely give us a comment in the chat below, and let us know what your experience was like. So just gonna dredge it off to drop the extra flour off of this, to dust it off, and then bam, it goes on the hot skillet. Now I'm going to crank up the heat. So the technique is that the time that it takes for one roti to roast, you're actually going to jump right in and roll out another one as to make the most of your time. So roll it between your palms, but don't roll it like this because that's going to make it into a ball. We don't want a ball, we want a disc. So stretch out your palm, get this in here, and then roll it like this. Keep your fingers tense and roll it like this so that you will get a disc, not a ball. Again, go back and dredge it into the flour. Bring it onto your board. Keep an eye on this. When it becomes translucent like this and it's able to move around, you know that it's not sticking to the bottom, which means it's time to give it the first flip. At this time, you're going to give it a first flip. And this is the quickest flip. The second one is going to last a little bit longer because we are aiming for brown spots on the underside of the roti. Okay, so I'm going to go back to rolling this to make the most of the time that I have while this gets to the point where it gets the brown spots. And you know, some families like big rotis, some like them small, so you really arrive at whatever your perfect size is. Sometimes it has to do with the size of the hands of the person in the family making the rotis. So here my second one is ready. I'm going to dust off the flour, put it on the second skillet. I have to make 15, so I'm just trying to use 2 skillets, like you can see. So I'm pretty much working in production mode. You don't have to do that. Now you can actually sneak under and see if it got brown spots. You see these brown spots? This means that this is the third flip that it's ready for, and it's going to go directly on the flame. As soon as the flame hits it, the moisture in the dough actually makes it puff up. So you just nudge it around a little bit, and basically you're cooking it on all sides. That's what you're doing. Okay? Simple as that. I mean, it's easier said than done, but of course to get to this level of skill, you can see that I probably invested many years. So when we first started out helping our moms in the kitchen, we would never get the roti making task because we could not make round rotis. So everybody starts somewhere. If you're unable to make them round, that's totally fine. Do attempt it. It's a great alternative to eating naan, which is in restaurants mostly made with eggs and milk and lots of butter. And sometimes they don't tell you that if you're vegan. So also rotis are easier to digest. The more time you spend on kneading the dough and making it smooth, the less time your digestive system has to spend in breaking down the gluten. Okay, so just take those extra minutes and make sure your dough is nice and smooth, and you've taken the time to really work the moisture into the dough so that it's smooth like silk, like you see over here. Okay, there you go. Always keep an eye on this one because it's going to get ready to get flipped. As soon as it becomes a little translucent and you'll see tiny bubbles coming on top, that's your cue that you need to flip it. Okay? So my dear friend Ruby is very concerned that why am I making so many rotis in the middle of the night? And she's offering to come help me. I think you're such a sweetheart for saying that. You see these bubbles? So this is time to give it the first flip. This one is ready to get its second flip. I don't know if you can see it. Let me just position the camera so you can. Okay, and this is ready to go directly onto the flame. There you go. I think I should have waited a little bit longer to get some brown spots on this. I was a little bit hasty. So it tends to crack. If you see that the roti is cracking and steam is leaking out, just press it down and pinch it so that the steam won't escape from that side. And I think very soon my fire alarm is going to go off, as it really does not like me to make rotis for whatever reason. Okay, so I'm going to have to end this video fairly quickly, but here's the last one that I'm going to show you, after which I will sign off, and then I will make it with my exhaust system turned on so that the fire alarm does not go off. So that was my quick tutorial for how to actually make rotis and how to serve them with your meals. You can serve them with any kind of curries. You can serve them with stir-fry dishes, anything that can be picked up and dunked into, anything that's a curry or a lentil dish where you can dunk the rotis and they soak up all of the nice gravy. That's a good thing. You can also use this as a base for the wrap, and you can fill it in and roll it up and eat it. So that's how you roll the rotis, that's how you roast the rotis, and this is like a daily thing for us. I hope you liked what you saw. I'll be happy if you can give it a try, and if you tag me on any of your creations based on the live videos that you see, I'll be absolutely overjoyed. Until next time, you hang in there. If you want to take any of my classes, you can find all the information on queenscurrykitchen.com, whether you're a beginner, intermediate, or an advanced level pro in the chef. You can totally up your cooking game by taking a class that is appropriate to your skill level. If you want to order the cookbook or you want to download it, it's all there on queenscurrykitchen.com. So don't hesitate if you have any questions, and if there's any specific recipe that you would like me to make for you on this Facebook Live, I'm happy to do that for you as well. So do follow and like the page so that you can get notifications of every time I'm going live next. And that is usually pretty often. So Facebook is my favorite medium of coming and sharing my creations with you, and I'm always here. But if you have any questions, you can always send me a private message on my Queen's Curry Kitchen page. Like always, be blissful, be flavorful, and I know it's really getting late in the night, and I'm sure you have something better to do. But I do appreciate the fact that when I feel like I don't have to do this alone and I come on here and somebody or the other is always here to guide me through and share and offer their companionship and offer their gift of time. So I'm very thankful for all of your support and your love. I really, really do appreciate it. So thank you so much. I will see you soon in the next one. I'm going to finish this project. I think I've made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I have 7 done and I have 8 more to go. But I will see you soon in another one with something interesting that we are going to make one of these days. Be blissful, be flavorful, keep smiling, be safe out there, and don't forget to support the Queen's Curry Kitchen. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.